Today, Monday of the first week of Lent, we come to the church San Pietro in Vicoli, St. Peter in Chains. According to the most likely hypothesis on the archaeological history of this church, the first place of Christian worship on this site dates from the late 4th or early 5th centuries, being completed by Pope Sixtus III. In the year 431, a priest from here named Philip was a papal legate to the Council of Ephesus, at which he identified himself as coming from the Titulus Apostolorum. This likely refers to that early church's dedication. The Council of Ephesus declared Mary Theotokos, God-bearer, the Mother of God. However, disaster would strike the first church shortly thereafter, in the form of either fire or earthquake, leading to its almost total destruction. Fortunately, the Byzantine emperor and his wife had pledged their support to the previous church, and continuing in this spirit, their daughter Eudoxia helped to rebuild the church. The front and back walls of the original church had remained mostly intact, so this reconstruction consisted mainly of rebuilding the nave of the church. This was undertaken, and the repairs were completed around the year 450, around the same time that the chains from St. Peter's imprisonment in Jerusalem were given to the church. When these were placed with the chains from St. Peter's imprisonment in Rome, the two miraculously fused together. Towards the end of that same century, the church was rededicated, and multiple documents mention the transfer of the relics of the 7 Maccabee brothers from Constantinople. Inside the church is the unfinished tomb of Julius II. Julius II would be ultimately buried in St. Peter's Basilica. But as a part of this incomplete tomb is the famous Moses, completed in the current state by Michelangelo in the year 1545. The chains of St. Peter, previously kept in a shrine in the left transept, were moved into the Confessio, the lower part of the high altar, for the veneration of the faithful, for the years 1876 to 1877. Upon entering the church, we stand in a wide nave, bounded by columns in the Doric style. These were carved in Greece, possibly having previously stood in the portico of Octavian in this city. Turning toward the sanctuary of the church, we see the 16th century frescoes in the apse, which illustrate an 8th century miracle from Beirut, in which a crucifix bled when the image of Christ was nailed to the cross. Lower than this are the 3 images relating to the history of the chains here. The first shows the angel coming to free St. Peter from prison. The second shows the Empress Eudoxia giving the chains from Jerusalem to the Pope. And the third shows the joining of the 2 chains to the astonishment of the onlookers. The steps down into the Confessio lead to the shrine before the chains themselves, kept in a reliquary over the altar there. In the crypt underneath the altar is kept the sarcophagus of the Maccabean relics. Before departing the church, we might take one last look toward the Confessio, where are kept the chains which bound on earth he who had been given the keys of heaven.